What's going on, everybody? Welcome to a new episode of the Late Night Lake Show podcast. It's your host today, Kwame, and I'm joined by my boys. We got Rick, we got Jody. Gentlemen, the Lakers. Man, we're doing pretty good this season. A little rough of a road trip, but we came back home and took care of business. So got a couple more games this week, but it's just been an exciting season, man. Feels like the life is back in us. But just quick check in with you guys. How y'all doing today, fellas? Jody, tell me how you doing.
I'm doing good, man. You know, living and maintaining, trying to get through.
That's what I like to hear. Rick, as the leader of the pack, man, how you feeling? Tell us how you doing.
I'm good, man. I do got a bone to pick with Jody real quick, though. Jody always got some great parlays cooked up under the table. You ever go kick it with your friends and they bring some food through and look, it's fire. You see it's fire. They killing it. They real focused on the food, but didn't tell you where they got it from. Didn't tell you they was getting it and didn't bring you none. I told just publicly, Jody, please start the LNLS bets. Start the Discord, brother. I'm trying to deposit some of these Bitcoin.
Hey, I gotta figure out more about what this Discord thing is. I hear people talking about it all the time, but I don't really know
Discord,
much about it. But
it's just another group chat, man. That's
basically what it is.
We'll get you to speed. Don't you worry.
Man, I hit a parlay a little while ago, maybe like 2 or 3 weeks ago, but I ain't hit one since. I'm due. I need to hit one. I'm gonna hit one this weekend for sure.
They know when you putting money on them, though, bro.
They got to, bro. I think they get like notifications.
What did he say? Get a job. For the love of God.
What CJ McCollum say on Twitter? Like, I'm trying, Jennifer. That's what
Yeah.
That's what I should have said to Kevin. I'm trying, Jennifer, but nigga, you keep fucking up my parlays. I can't catch the bus because you keep
right. This is a crazy world we in, where we could just directly talk to the niggas that's blowing our parlays.
Yeah, that's where we at. That's where we at with society. Well, hey, there you guys hear first. Hey, LNLS bets, maybe making a return
coming soon,
featuring Jody. You know what I'm saying?
Every 2 weeks, though. We only want Jody's winners.
Right? Yeah, we're not taking the losers. Hey, y'all not gonna pin y'all losses on us neither. So you lose, bet at your own discrepancy.
Niggas would be in my mentions parked daily talking about you made me lose.
More than they are already, bro.
Right. All right, gentlemen. Well, so let's as a new thing with the Late Night Lake Show podcast, we're gonna talk a little bit about the league, what's going on, some of the hot storylines, and we'll start off with the Cleveland Cavaliers, man. Off to a blazing hot 12-0 start. Cavs guard Darius Garland was named Eastern Conference Player of the Week, averaging 25 points per game, shooting 61% from the field and 57% from three. These guys have been balling, man. The backcourt has been dynamic. The front court has been even better, led by Evan Mobley and Jarrett Allen. But, man, new coach and Kenny Atkinson, the Cavs are looking like a brand spanking new team. These guys are doing their thing. They're winning games, and it's looking pretty effortless for them right now. So I got to know, man, what are your guys' thoughts on the Cleveland Cavaliers? What's going on with them, and is this something that's sustainable? Is this a team that can really go the long haul with this team, with this makeup, with this roster, with this coach, especially in the daunting Eastern Conference? Jody, let me get your thoughts on what you think about the Cavaliers and how they're doing this season.
Yeah, man, I think they for real, man. I think it's one of those things where anytime you can win 12 straight games in any professional league, you got to be some type of legitimate. You got to be some type of good. You don't win 12 games on accident. That's too much execution that has to happen consecutively for you to, be able to do something like that. And with how we were talking before, like with how the East is looking, we need to be cherishing the moments that we get with this Cavs, because it probably won't be that much quality basketball in the East that does not involve the Cavaliers or the Celtics. The distance between the Celtics and the Cavs is probably the same amount of distance between the Cavs and the rest of the Eastern Conference. So it's like they're, they firmly in that second spot as the second best team, and it take a long time. The problem is KP ain't even came back for the Celtics, so it's like they still got things.
He's still out.
Yeah,
they still have.
He hasn't played since like the playoff
finals. Yeah.
So they still got things to add, and whatever he adds is going to be a plus.
Yeah.
That's essentially how good their team is. So, hey, God bless the Cavs. Maybe Jared Allen and Evan Mobley turn into some true twin towers and do something special. But I like what the Cavs got going. They got something really brewing in Cleveland.
I gotta agree, man. I think the Cavs, they got something special. Like I said, dynamic backcourt, talented front court, bench that has all contributors. Again, this coach got them playing hard, man. Kenny Atkinson got these guys playing in a different style. Rick, let me get your thoughts on what you think about the Cavaliers, especially coming off off season where it was looking like Darius Garland and Donovan Mitchell were not seeing eye to eye. There was a possible trade request. I know a lot of things were going on, but it seems like they patched it up and are off to a blazing, like I said, 12-0 start. So, Rick, let me know your thoughts. Is this a legitimate team in the National Basketball Association? Could they compete for a championship, or this is just another hot start that we should just ignore later on?
Yeah, I mean, to Jody's point, you kind of have to acknowledge what they're doing. 82-game season, you're 12 games through, undefeated. Look, the East is just awful.
Tell us.
Just very disappointing. You wouldn't bring them home to your mother nor father. It's just a very disgraceful basketball conference right now, where only 2 teams are above 500. Again, only 2 teams are above 500 in the conference. There's only one team in the West that has a worse than 500 record against the East. That's how bad it is. The New Orleans Pelicans, who only have half a roster, have a 2-4 record. Everybody else is above 500 in the West against the East. So with those just black and white stats, you have no other choice but to say that this team has to be taken seriously. You take a look at teams that have started 12-0 or better to start an NBA season. Only one of those 12 teams have not made it to their conference finals. Everybody else either lost in the conference finals or won or lost the NBA finals. Actually, only 2 teams won the NBA finals, but you get the point. It is very hard at this point in time, sportsly speaking, to count the Cavs out of the East. So as long as they end up on the other side of the bracket from the Celtics, yeah, they should be able to take care of business. As much as I acknowledge that having the smaller guards in the playoffs is usually no bueno, they got 2 really, really good and versatile bigs in Evan and Mobley and Jared Allen. So I appreciate what they bring to the basketball court. Big boy universities, both alumni right there. And look at that. Kenny Atkinson gets a job. The team does amazing. If you've been following the show, you know this is something that I've been trying to preach that the Lakers look at for a head coaching position. Kenny Atkinson's one of my guys, and I just, very happy for him that he's able to put such a hot start together. But I'd be lying if I wasn't a little jaded at the front office for not really considering my man during the multiple times over the years the Lakers have needed a head coach. So shout out to them. Hats off to them. They tapped the Lakers' ass, so I got to respect them as for real.
I like the point you made about Kenny Atkinson. It really seems like he's got these boys playing different, man. They are doing their thing. I got to agree, though. A small backcourt makes me nervous. I don't believe in small guards in the playoffs. I got to be honest with you. If you're a real small guard, I just don't have faith that you can carry your team across the finish line. It'll be interesting to see what the Cavaliers can do, man. I'm very, very curious how it goes in the long haul, but that's the best start for their team individually. So, hey, I guess we'll see how far the Cavaliers can go, man. Good for the city of Cleveland, especially in the post-LeBron era. I think this is something to really look forward to because, I'll be honest, I never thought the Cavs would see another great season again, but here they are doing great things. So good for them, man. Good for them. But as we mentioned, guys, the Eastern Conference is off. As we look down the standings, we find ourselves down the 2-8 section. We're looking at the Milwaukee Bucks. Man, these guys are struggling. This is a team that just a couple years ago, NBA champion, MVP, DPOY, future face of the league, Giannis. We haven't seen him even come close since. And I know he's been injured in the playoffs and whatnot, but this team is rough, my guys. Last year, they traded for Damian Lillard, brand new head coach and Adrian Griffin. fired him, brought in Doc Rivers. They have not looked worse since. I don't know what to say about this team, man. They only have 3 guys that average over 10 points per game. You got Giannis, Damian Lillard, and Bobby Portis. Those are the only 3 people averaging over 10 points a game. In totality, their team only scores about 110.6 a night, which is good for 19th in the league. I don't know if that's getting it done. You look at their team, they don't really have a lot of plus defenders. Giannis is really probably your only guy. It's not looking good for the Milwaukee Bucks, fellas. So I'm just curious, man. What does this team have to look forward to? Is there any way to reach back to the mountaintop, or is it just time to close the door on the Milwaukee Bucks? Rick, let me hear what you got to say about the Milwaukee Bucks. What do you think they're going to do? And tell me, is this a salvageable roster and team organization? Any of it?
Salvageable as in selling off parts. Yeah. Salvageable as in they're about to compete for a championship? No. First of all, their head coach, they signed up for what they signed up for.
They did indeed.
So having Doc Rivers at the helm, already paying Adrian Griffin, and Doc Rivers making what he's making, you don't expect a coaching change this season. In fact, reports said that his seat is not hot, in fact. So here we go, the Doc Rivers show, trying to navigate chaos. Buckle up. Then you kind of just move down this roster, and the first thing that kind of glares to me is the supporting pieces are that they're not doing what they're being paid to do. Like you said, 3 guys are above 10 points a game. Shout out Big Bobby, who is apparently in trade talks. So then you would get rid of that guy. So I don't know, man. I think the Bucks are in one of those situations. Once they traded for Dame, they needed things to go right and be trajectory moving up. Firing a head coach so quickly into last season kind of showed that, all right, we're all not pulling from the same rope here. Then you hear some of the offseason stuff about Dame and Giannis not being BFFs. All good. Our superstars are. And now you're moving to them having a horrible, objectively horrible start to the season. These things usually don't get better just by everybody leaning in and working harder, right? So I do think that the Bucks at some point in time will make some changes to the supporting cast outside of Dame and Giannis. But will it turn into a strong push? I don't know. Maybe again, this is the East. I guess they could be a playing team, and as long as you have a hot Dame and Giannis, you can make a run. But this team's not in contention talks. That's for damn sure.
I mean, you got to look at it. You look at their ages of their core players. You got Giannis, 29. You got Damian Lillard, 34. You got Brook Lopez, 36. You got Chris Middleton, 33. And Bobby Portis, 29. And these guys are
Bobby Portis is 29.
Bobby Portis is 29. Yes, he is. He's getting up there.
I would have never guessed Bobby Portis was younger than me.
Yeah, he's
that's crazy.
Crazy eyes.
Y'all would have never guessed that.
But these guys aren't making a little bit of money either. You got Giannis making 48, Dame making 48. You got Brook Lopez making 23, Chris Middleton making 31, hasn't played a game. And then you got Bobby Portis pulling in 12 and a half. Like, this is a lot of money tied up to not that many people. I don't really know the flexibility of this roster and how great it could be, but it's looking very grim for these boys. I don't know how you make it better. And like you said, Rick, I don't think a kumbaya is getting them out of this. So, Jody, let me get your thoughts. What do you think about the Bucks? Is this team savable? Can you do anything that this team can have any sort of turnaround and maybe even see the mountaintop? Maybe not even this season, but do they even have a future with Giannis at the helm?
Nah, man, they peaked, and that's okay. You know, not everything lasts forever, and they had a good run. They had Giannis from when he was nobody knew who he was, and he was just a skinny kid, and he grew to be a MVP. I think he may have more than one MVP actually. Champion, Finals MVP. You can't front on that, and but when you trade away a good defensive guard, a guard that can match up with a lot of guys in a guard heavy NBA, and then you make your team weaker by getting another guard that's a shooter but is not a defender. So if his shooting is not great, then he's almost a net negative on the court at this stage in his career. Then you got you got the guy that you left that you won a championship with. This is not some guy that was just on your team. You actually won a championship. And the thing about it, we seen Drew Holiday make that steal on Devin Booker in one of the biggest moments in the finals.
Yep.
And you let that man walk away. And I think he got traded to the Blazers for a second.
Yep.
And they routed his ass on to Boston. And now your biggest competition, who at that point had not won a championship, so they're as thirsty as possible to be as good as they possibly can be to get the 18th championship for the fucking Celtics, and you didn't let them get a championship guy who knows what it looks like, knows what it been to the mountaintop. And
yeah, they were cursed. That's what cursed them. You're right. You're absolutely right. You're right. They did wrong by Drew.
You did wrong by Drew.
Drew signing extensions with them niggas now. They did wrong by him.
You had what you did wrong by Drew. He wasn't the Finals MVP, but you didn't get there until Drew got there.
The year he got there, they won. The year they traded Eric Bledsoe for him, they won.
And you get him out of there for what? You trade him for a smaller guard who, I'm not gonna say Dame is past his prime, but he's not Dame waving goodbye to the OKC Thunder after he, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Now
Dame spent like 2 years in purgatory where folks were like, all right, are they trading Dame this season? Are they trading Dame this season? And then it felt like
should have did it
the
then.
third year they actually traded Dame, and everyone was like, oh, to Milwaukee. All right, that's gonna be a crazy pick and roll with him and Giannis. And I don't know about y'all. That hasn't been blowing up my timeline.
No, it hasn't.
I didn't see that highlight from it. Like,
and
you see them throw a oop.
That's not.
I have not seen a Dame to Giannis oop. I need to pull up the footage.
That's not how Giannis like to play. He doesn't. You know, he's not trying to spin his possessions in a high pick and roll all fucking time because he wants to. If that's the case, he want to have the ball himself so that he can fucking either get in the post or, you know, drive to the rim and kick the ball. But I'm not trying to be sitting here matching up with these screens and doing slipping screens and picking pops. Like, Giannis is not doing that. That's not, you know what I'm saying, how he plays. So it don't even seem like it was that much. They just feel like they thought if we just go get a big name, we'll be good. And be damn almost got akin to the Lakers responding to Brooklyn by going to get Russ when really Brooklyn hadn't done anything to fear anything other than the names of Kyrie,
that was
KD,
crazy
and Harden.
Everybody freaking the hell out for a season and a half of that. But I will say the cutting the Bucks a little bit of bail here. They were tired of number 2 Chris Middleton. Like, it was Giannis as A, Middleton needed to be B, and they were not confident that through his injuries, right, he would continue to he could be that consistent number 2. So they're like, let's go get another one that might be a little bit older, but we're gonna make it happen. And I think, you know, had obviously Middleton been a more productive, consistent, healthier guy, maybe it changes. But Milwaukee definitely bet on the horse that Dame would get it done while also shipping out maybe 80% of the production in Drew Holiday. And then you gave up other pieces on top of that.
Yeah.
Didn't turn out to be a net positive.
I mean, it's got to sting. You trade away Drew, you get Dame. Drew gets rerouted to the Celtics, and they immediately win a championship. Like, that's really got to hurt, because essentially that's the same thing that happened to the Bucks. Who's the Bucks got them? They won a championship, and they let the same thing go. It happened over in Beantown, so I'm a little disappointed. But yeah, I think I'll be honest, the Bucks might be in some trouble here, gentlemen. I don't know how they climb out this hole, but we'll continue to monitor the situation as the season continues on. So let's take ourselves back over to the Western Conference, gentlemen. Let's look at our good friends. We know them well, the New Orleans Pelicans. Now, these guys, they might, the three of us might need to suit up for them soon, because they are losing people left and right. I'm gonna run through their injuries real quick. We got DeJounte Murray with the hand injury, expected to miss 4 to 6 weeks. CJ McCollum diagnosed with a right adductor strain, expected to miss 2 to 3 weeks. Herb Jones, expected to miss a minimum of 2 to 4 weeks after a shoulder strain and low-grade thickness tear in his rotator cuff. Yikes. Jordan Hawkins will miss 1 to 2 weeks due to a lower back strain. Zion Williamson, diagnosed with a left hamstring strain, will be out indefinitely. And then just the other day, Jose Alvarado, diagnosed with a left hamstring strain and will be reevaluated in approximately 3 weeks. I don't even know who's left on this team outside of Brandon Ingram, to be honest with you. And BI does not have a track record of being the most healthy dude. To be honest, he's only played 60 games one time since 2020. So in 4 seasons, he's only played 60 games one time, and that was last year. So he's not known to be the healthiest dude either, but the Pelicans are tough, man. I remember their fans, they were giving us Lakers a hard time because, we traded for AD and they got all these players and all these picks that have almost amounted to nothing successful for their franchise. So they get one more pick out of us and then it's done. So they're really going to need to make it good. But gentlemen, I want to know your thoughts on the New Orleans Pelicans as their team is decimated. Do we have any stock left in Zion? This guy has not been consistently healthy and he's not been able to perform to what we all expected him to be. And to be honest, I just don't think the league is even looking to him to be the face that they thought he was going to be coming out. So I'm just curious. I mean, talk a little bit about the Pelicans and what you think, but I'm really curious. What are y'all thoughts about Zion Williamson and who this guy is supposed to be? Jody, let's start with you. Tell me your thoughts.
Hey, I'm gonna keep it 100% real with Zion. He been cursed ever since that day Barack Obama came courtside at Duke and his shoes busted. He ain't been right ever since. And I ain't been right ever since then. He ain't been right since then, man.
Wow.
He'll have a nice little stretch where he look like he about to get right, and then something happened. That was pretty much it. He can't stay healthy under any circumstances. We barely a month into the year, out indefinitely with a hamstring. You got a soft tissue injury to start the year. You don't get healthier within the season. Like, it don't work like that. So he already has a weight issue, so you can't really work out like that if your hamstring is messed up. Like,
it's a roller coaster every time. Gets skinny or gets trim, gets hurt, can't play, gets big, rehabs, gets skinny, gets hurt. Watch rinse and repeat.
Right. Same thing. So it was. Hey, his YouTube and IG highlights gonna live forever. You know what I'm
Hall
saying?
of Fame. Hall of Fame YouTube highlights.
And at least he got the second contract. At least he was able to hold on to get that second contract. Shout out to him. And hopefully him and Moriah Mills can live off that for the rest of their life. As far as the Pelicans, it's funny because the Pelicans, they didn't want to pay BI this summer. They didn't want to give him a new deal.
You're right.
And here it is. He's the only one that they can depend on to get 20 a night. And he can barely stay healthy, but you rather get 60 games of BI than you're going to get 40 games of Zion and you paying him $45 million, $50 million a year. So you might as well give BI 35, 40 million a year. What is it going to hurt you? What else? Who else are you? Who you gonna get the money to? Now you risk losing BI. You damn near gonna have to trade him to not let him walk for nothing.
They'll trade him. I feel like that's probably going to be the biggest name traded by the trade deadline. The Pelicans are obviously being shown that this ain't what we thought it was going to be. And everybody got hurt. Everybody. Right. You hold on to DeJounte Murray because he just got here. Right. Zion's making a gajillion dollars and not sure if you would get the value back that you would expect for a Zion deal, but also who's going to purchase the 80-inch flat screen with bullet holes all through it and it's dented and it fell off the back of the truck. Right. I truly think that BI is going to end up maybe not even with a contender, maybe like a team that is just deciding, hey, let's chip in some of these young pieces for a little bit of an older veteran who's proven, made an all-star game, right? To add a little bit of consistency, maybe as a 1A or a 1B score on their team. So I do think this is the end of the Pelicans story. I look forward to seeing how this last pick ends up coming to fruition or not. And then I will officially start the funeral arrangements for that franchise. It's the slow game. It's the long game. We've been very patient over here in Laker Nation. There was a lot of mean things said, with the after that AD trade. And we'll just finish it once this last piece of this transaction is done. So best of luck to you guys. Stay warm, stay safe, and support your local health and rehab facilities out there in New Orleans.
Wow. Rick, I gotta know. Are you selling your Zion stock? Let's look a little bit into Zion. He was drafted in 2019, right? We're gonna talk about him season by season.
I leased my Zion stock. I'm gonna be honest with you.
His rookie year played just 24 games, then was out with the knee injury. The next season, bubble year, he did play 61 games, but was hampered by another knee injury towards the end of the season. 2021-22 season, missed the entire season due to a foot injury that required surgery.
Ooh,
you go the next year, 2022-23, played in 29 games, and then was sidelined for the rest of the season due to a foot injury that flared up. Then last year, he played in a career high 70 games. Wasn't even injured like that. Averaged an astounding, well, I guess I won't necessarily say astounding, but averaged 23, 6, and 5. Okay, not too bad. And then this season, managed only to make it 6 games before his hamstring blew out. So
yeah,
Zion has not been a beacon of consistency at any measure of his career thus far. We're talking 5 seasons in, and he's missed over half his games. I don't know how it gets better. Like I said, he's only getting older. He's only recovering from more injuries. I don't see how this guy. It's going to be difficult. He's going to need a hell of a second half of his career to really turn this around. But to Jody's point, he made that second contract. But Rick, I got to know, did you sell the Zion stock? Let me hear it. Let the people hear.
Yeah. I sold it. I mean, I think it officially was sold once I saw his selection in Porn Stars. Like, I think that's when I had to finish the deal, because like that was a thumbnail that just wouldn't get clicked on. I think maybe once just to see what in the fuck is going on, but after that wasn't getting it done. Anyways, Zion had several years to prove himself to it just be one thing, and that's healthy. And he did have the one season that you mentioned, which was how many games? 60 what?
70.
It was 70?
60 games last season. Career high 70 games last season.
There we go. I don't think Pelicans fans have a nickname like everybody else has a nickname for Anthony Davis about always being injured, but he's literally always injured.
Always, bro.
But I don't hear him not one nickname for Zion and his injury issues. I just checked it out. Anthony Davis, 64 games, 67 games, 68 games, 61 games, 75 games, 75 games for the Pelicans. And that's how they treated him once he left, in comparison to this box of scraps of a muscle car. And not a peep. We're supposed to show grace, thoughts and prayers. Hopefully he gets better and rehabs. But then again, I'm just waiting for the funeral services. So this ain't about Zion. Hopefully he can pull it together, find a new franchise with a better rehab facilities. I heard the Suns have really good rehab facilities. Not trying to put him with KD and shit, but just as far as getting healthy again. But yeah, man, I got nothing for the Pelicans. Goodbye.
Way to close the door on that. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna take a quick break. When we come back, we'll shift our focus over to the Lakers, and we had quite a lineup change that seems a little bit familiar to last year. We'll take a deeper dive into that in just a couple minutes with y'all. Late Night Lake Show. We'll be right back.
Hey, what's going on, y'all? Ricky with Late Night Lake Show. Real quick, just wanted to send some flowers, send some love to one of our A1 Day Ones, friends of the show, Prize Picks. They've been rocking with us since this account, and this whole operation was in its infancy way before we have grown to the production that we are here today. And we can't thank them enough for believing in the engine that is LNLS. And to show our love, we got a new promo code for y'all. Type in the promo code CLNS. CLNS for up to $100 deposit match on your first deposit. That's right. You already know how Prize Picks is coming, man. It is the #1 daily fantasy experience. You make your picks higher or lower. You make 2 to 3 selections, and if you hit, you might be able to cash out on a nice little 5, 10, 15, 25, all the way up to 100 times your deposit.
Late Night Lake Show. We're back. The Lakers guys had a bit of a lineup shift. Cam Reddish has moved into the starting lineup with D'Angelo Russell coming off the bench. So JJ Redick was telling the reporters that they're just looking for more balance in the starting lineup with the defensive presence, and then moving D'Lo to the bench will provide a bit of an offensive pop. He emphasized that this is not necessarily permanent, nor is it an indictment on Russell's performance to start the season. But he says it's just an adjustment that he thinks would better balance the rotation. So, guys, we've seen it. We've seen it for 2 games now. Again, hey, we saw this last year with Darvin Ham. When you look at that backcourt, we knew they're not the most athletic. They often struggle with these smaller, faster guards. But when they played well for the most part. But we saw Darvin Ham go to this same lineup adjustment last year as well. He inserted Cam Reddish into the lineup to add a little bit of defense. Seems to be working a little differently now. I'm curious, what are y'all thoughts on the early lineup shift, moving D'Lo to the bench? How do you guys feel about Cam Reddish's performance, and what does it look like with our team and our makeup on how this can move forward? Again, we got a little bit of momentum with this new roster change, so I'm curious, what are you guys' thoughts? So Jody, go ahead and start me off. What are your thoughts on the Lakers starting Cam Reddish and moving D'Lo to the bench?
It was something that you got to do it because D'Lo he's usually, if he's not on offensively, meaning making the shots that he throw up, he teeters on net negative line. And Cam Reddish, he could possibly be net negative as well, but he's bigger and athletic, so he has more of a chance to at least impact the game defensively. Whereas offensively, you can sit him in a dunker spot and make something work and get something easy to the rim. Hey, if he's right there, you can drop it off. If not, he can be there to try to help clean up the glass, basically. But I don't. I just don't know that there's a spot on this roster for what they're trying to do for D'Lo. I don't know. I don't know what he's gonna effectively bring from a consistency level. The idea of D'Lo is great, but the reality of what we get on a per night basis is just not sustainable when the margin of error is not that great either. So they could dress it up how they want to, but I think we all know what we've seen from D'Lo in these moments and this team. And the games from AD and Brian are at a premium at this point. So, you got to do what you can with what you can. But hopefully, Cam Reddish uses this opportunity to kind of stay locked in and he don't taper off, kind of like he did last year, where he would come on strong and have some good moments and then kind of like taper off to where it's like almost unplayable type of deal. So we're gonna see. Hopefully they let D'Lo play enough to where he looks good enough to where somebody's gonna want to accept him in some type of deal. Because I hope that D'Lo is used as a chip in some way to upgrade this roster, not as a personal thing. Because I think D'Lo is a good locker room guy. I think they like him personally. I just don't think that it's just gonna work out professionally on the court.
Because I noticed that too. D'Angelo Russell is ironically becoming more valuable as a locker room guy and as a likable guy that his teammates gravitate towards.
Mhm.
That definitely, you could see that whether in the post games or in the locker room footage or even access backstage Lakers. He's definitely has proven to be a locker room guy, which at the end of the day, that still means something, even especially as you struggle to find your rhythm on the court.
Mhm.
It's always good to be liked, right? But when you look at kind of what's happening with this offense, Austin had the ball a lot in his hands when they were both in the back, both starting together. And you saw that that's kind of making D'Angelo look a little out of place, obsolete. Remember what he said last year when he was moved off ball? I'm just a hooper. I'm just a basketball player, right? I don't have a position. This is technically what has happened again, but his answer this year is, hey, I checked any ego at the door to start this season. I'm here just to make the team better. And yes, that could just be expiring contract talk, right? Him not having as many suitors in the offseason. He's kind of realizing where he's at as far as his career. But hell, with reality comes adjustments. And
Mhm.
I think D'Angelo is definitely showing that he's willing, to adjust to a bench role or coming off the bench. And if he can be dangerous, right, from off the bench, that would be manna from heaven because the Lakers do not have a bench scoring presence right now. So it's kind of a little twofold. Austin kind of has proven with the ball in his hands that's going to be a situation the Lakers are going to look forward to. Obviously, LeBron is going to have the ball in his hands a lot, but in that second unit, D'Angelo, as long as you're playing defense and showing good effort, orchestrate this shit however the fuck you want. Because right now, no one else is providing any type of scoring fuel off the bench for the Lakers.
Yeah, I gotta agree with you, gentlemen. I look at this roster, especially that starting lineup, and D'Lo just always felt like the odd man out. Again, they were putting the ball in AR's hands, they were putting the ball in LeBron's hands. Rui's got to get his touches, or else he completely disengages from the game. Anthony
Mhm.
Davis is the offensive hub, so like D'Lo felt like, and again, he's not really providing much else. He's not really providing defense. And again, guards are the most. It's a guards league, man. The guards of this game are good. They are quality players. And every night he's going against somebody who's got a lot of talent, a lot of speed, whatever it may be. And sometimes it feels like he struggles a little bit. When we have to put AR to guard their best offensive player, not to say AR is a terrible defender. He gives effort, he tries, but he's just it's not quite the same. So I really do like the infusion of Cam Reddish. It feels like when we had Vanderbilt in our lineup and you swapped out Rui, like we had at least one guy to really help balance the lineup. And I think that's what the Lakers need, to be honest with you. I mean, when you have, like I said, offensive scorers, you got LeBron, AD, AR, Rui. When you have those guys, you need a defensive guy to balance that. Like I said, even previously, when you have Vanderbilt in there instead of Rui, again, you still got four offensive guys and the guy who's going to play that defense, do the hustle plays, all the little small things. And you
Mhm.
need that. So honestly, I got to give Cam Reddish a lot of credit. After his media availability on Saturday, they talked about him being a star in his role, and he actually made a great comment. He's like, every team is different, every coach is different. I just go out there and do what the coaches tell me to do. My past life, I was out there doing what I wanted to do, but that doesn't necessarily work all the time. He's like, be a star in my role, do what I can do to help the team win, whether that's 1 shot, 5 shots, 10 shots. I just go out there and try to impact the game. And that's the mentality you need. And I hope that's the mentality he's really absorbed coming into this season. He's not going to get a lot of offensive possessions just given the makeup of this team. But if he's going to go out there and give 110%, defend his ass off, I can't ask for anything more than that. Like I said, at the end of the day, we need effort guys, high energy guys who are going to do the dirty work. I think Cam Reddish is one of those dudes. So, again, to your point you made earlier, Jody, I hope that he can keep the momentum going because he fell off after the in-season tournament last year after dominating that segment of hoops. So, man, if he can really stay the course, I mean, that's value on a vet min. But guys, I get a little worried because I look at D'Lo. He's just the odd man out. He's on an expiring. It's kind of been a conversation over the last 2 years. So, hey, unless he's going for 6th man of the year, I think basically he's just playing for he's doing auditions for his next team. So
There you go, 6-man D'Lo. Let's run it up. Do you know actually who has been affected the most from this D'Lo benching or being sent to come off the bench, it's LeBron. LeBron's usage has gone up to now he is the most highest used player since his usage rating, according to B-Ball Index. Shout out our boy Cranjus over there. He had posted this that for the first handful of games before D'Lo was benched, Anthony Davis had the highest usage rating. Since D'Angelo Russell's benching, it is now LeBron James. And obviously, the ball handling duties, you take a ball handler out of the starting lineup. Guess who's going to get the ball more? Bartholomew James. So, not saying it's good or bad. I think, in the whole spirit of keeping LeBron as young and spry as humanly possible, you kind of like to take the ball out of his hands. But at the same time, it's kind of hard to try to put a governor on LeBron James and his impact when he's looking around and saying, I think I need to orchestrate this right now. So we'll see.
Yeah, and again, we've seen that he's capable of doing it, but again, he turns 40 next month, gentlemen. I don't know how much we could have him with this high of a usage rate, but we'll see. Obviously, I think he's willing to do what's necessary for him, for the team, but man, it'd be really nice to get that man some relief because we need him if we're trying to cross that finish line. But as we continue to look down the Lakers roster, let's move down to Ricky's grandson, man.
Yeah.
Max Christie, man. What's going on with Max? So Max Christie, in the 10 appearances for the Los Angeles Lakers, is averaging a smooth 3.8 points per game, 1.8 rebounds, 1 assist. And again, we didn't expect Max Christie to, put up dynamite numbers or anything, but it's more when you watch him play. It feels like he's a step slow. Like he's not there. It feels like it's processing. Something's happening where he almost looks like a fish out of water. Like he's almost like shocked that he's on the NBA court with other NBA players. So he's been benched. He's been relegated to playing with the G Leaguers at the end of the games. Yeah, he's suiting up with Bronny, getting on the court at the end of the games. We are expecting him to basically be the first man off the bench to really elevate the game. We were crying for it last year. Hey, we need max minutes, and we got the max minutes, and it was nasty. So, gentlemen, I got to know your thoughts. Is Max Christie after he just got paid? He just made his
perfect time to relax, man.
And he's out here stinking it up. I don't know if I mean, at this point, I think his opportunities are only going to come in injury or in practice. I don't know how he's going to work his way back in this rotation, but I just got to know, what are your thoughts on Max Christie, guys? Like, what are we looking at here? What are we doing here? Jody, let's start. The 6'6" guard out of the local Illinois suburbs, really struggling to find his way. What are your thoughts on Max
Christie? Like D-Lo gonna have to he gonna have to go to somewhere to like basketball obscurity and hopefully his game gets better to where he can come out to be a really good pro. But
we're definitely going to see Max on a random bench one day.
Yeah, like this team is not
a random Grizzlies game. It's like, is that Max?
That's where Christie at. But this team is not the team for Max. Like this is not a team with LeBron and AD. The spotlight that's on the Lakers. That's not the type of team for Max Christie, kid that's some really thought that he was honestly overdrafted. He barely played last year. We were talking about how are you not playing this kid to see what you have in him in a career year? They still paid him, and he's fallen out of the rotation. So it's like he's another guy. I feel like you got to sell high on, play him just enough to make people feel like he can play a little bit and try to move him. Like, yeah, look at this is a 3-and-D, kid. It's just not a great situation for him. And try and get as much as you can. But I don't know. I just don't think it's right for him. I don't think we in a good spot.
Fellas, we're packaging coleslaw and broccoli, trying to get back a steak.
Yeah.
Like hell, we're trying to get back a sandwich, a hot sandwich. And between D'Lo and Max and us just, speaking truth to fact, it's hard to say, oh, well, he's going to get shipped for what? But what? Yes, Max has the age on his side and probably a little bit of GMs thinking, Lakers kind of fuck up everything. Maybe we got some out here out of Mr. Maxwell and can turn it into some. None of us would be surprised if he ended up with his brother with the Clippers some way somehow, and then ends up being a respectful, productive member of society. But I'm frustrated on both parts because the on-court production is not where we want it to be for Max. And also, the man just got paid. Yes, that contract is easily packageable, but brother, raise your own damn stock. I mean, Max was never going to be untouchable anyway, but it's like, shoot, we need a little bit more than just salary match out of you, brother. Like, come on, pick it up for us, for yourself, for your basketball career, or you're going to be getting bounce passes from Bronny. Keep fucking around.
Could
they send a player making that much to the G? I guess you could. You could send anybody down for rehab assignments.
Right.
But yeah, Max, it's sad, man. I think a lot of Lakers fans are really hoping for that leap, that jump for Max, and I'll be honest, he looks worse than he did in stints last year. So I don't know if he's just overthinking it. I don't know what's going on, but hopefully he can get another chance.
Got some money. He live in LA. He like it ain't gonna be on me, no way.
Right, he probably like they would trade me anyway. Shit, let me at least enjoy my time out here.
And I ain't mad at him if I was getting millions.
Better believe it. Oh man, well, I guess we'll see what happens with Ricky's grandson. We'll monitor the situation closely and see if he gets another opportunity later this season to raise his stock a little bit, give us something to look forward to. But unfortunately, I don't think, especially with the roster we have and the players that we don't really have a lot of time for guys to develop and get good, except for the guys that are really in development in the G League. We can't have Max trying to develop his game in real time. Like, we're trying to win the championship here. We're not trying to get some guys good. So, unfortunately, I don't know.
Just less minutes than a rookie. Like his lunch is taken. It has been taken. It is. This isn't a thing. Like he is now buried. This wasn't he was in the rotation and someone's going to have to get hurt if you are now behind Cam Reddish in the depth chart.
He's playing everybody. He's playing everybody before him. Like I said, the only people he's getting off the bench before is Bronny James, Maxwell Lewis. That's probably it. Those are probably the only people that he's getting off the bench before, and that is not promising. So a little bit upsetting, but gentlemen, it's Tuesday. You know what Tuesday is? It's the NBA Cup.
Taco Tuesday.
I don't think he does that no more. But it's the NBA Cup. The Emirates. Are they the new sponsor? I think it is. I think it's the Emirates.
Yeah, Emirates
Cup now.
Expensive.
Guys, the Lakers last year, if y'all don't remember, are the NBA Cup defending champions. I gotta give some curiosity to the NBA Cup. Seemed like a lot of people were either you hated it or you loved it. I feel like not a lot of people were kind of in between. I'll be honest, I enjoyed it. I thought it was a fun way to spark up some basketball. I didn't really care for the group stage where you're just playing random games on a colorful court. But once the games mattered and it was the single elimination, like tournament style, I was into it. I'll be honest, I was a little tuned in. Those are some good games. I think the NBA's hit on a lot of these experimental things. I know people didn't like the play-in. The play-in's been jumping almost every time it's been there. I know people didn't really like the NBA Cup. I thought it was decent last year. People were hating only because the Lakers lost. Had the Pacers beat us, it would have been a whole different conversation. But I'm curious, y'all.
Wait, say that again, Kwame. Only because the Lakers won.
Only because the Lakers won, it was discredited.
It would have been good for the NBA Cup if we would have lost, actually.
I agree.
Yeah, right. Yeah, folks would have given. Let the Thunder have taken the NBA Cup. That would have been. It is for the best up-and-coming team that is next up in the league. You look at signs. The NBA Cup winners are more likely to go to the Western and Eastern Conference. All types of dumb shit. Lakers win in. It's like, well.
Doesn't matter. They do it in June. Right. Damn, man. That's loser mentality. We try to win. We want to win anything that's in front of us. So, gentlemen, I'm curious on your thoughts. Do y'all care about the NBA Cup? Because it was talked down all last season again. I really just believe it's because the Lakers won. Obviously, it's not a banner, it's not an NBA championship, but it is a tournament win of sorts. So I'm curious, do y'all care about it? And do y'all care if the Lakers repeat or do anything in the NBA Cup? I'm curious y'all thoughts. Rick, go ahead and let me know what you're thinking.
I think you made a good point. The group play, not really. What I'm probably most looking forward to is seeing the updated courts. You know me, I'm a little bit of a court and jersey snob, and what they spat out last year was just an abomination to basketball. Like, you wouldn't even create some of these courts on the PlayStation, man. You wouldn't do it. Just designing your own court. Like, your little cousins wouldn't even make courts that ugly. So it seems like they tone it down. They realize that we will be watching these on high definition TVs, and we appreciate our retinas. So looking forward to new designs. But yeah, once we get to the knockout stages, then we'll be locked in. I look back at it. The Lakers eliminated the Suns, which was fun, right? Then who did they get to next? It was the Suns, then the good old Pelicans.
Pelicans,
yeah.
Pelicans.
Whooped the Pelicans 133-89.
Whooped them.
LeBron James in less than 23 minutes put up 30 points, 5 rebounds, and 8 assists.
He's killing Zion. Killing them.
It was not close. Then the Lakers tapped up the Pacers 123-109. Had the Pacers at one, right, it would have been all about what's to come and how it's a great indicator for young teams. But it's always good to defend what you've gotten. I don't like the visuals of champagne popping and then it not repeating in June, but hey, that's just the fans' perspective, right? Hell, celebrate anything you win. It's just I know what memes come out of that. So I'm optimistic. I am warming up to it, but like tomorrow being a group stage game, I don't really care. So
fair enough. Jody, your thoughts on the NBA Cup, and do you care if the Lakers repeat?
I mean, it'd be cool because they win money. So, I like that. No doubt.
They do. They get a bag. Okay.
Yeah, they get a bag. They need to put the money in cash and keep it courtside so they can give it to each player.
In a briefcase.
And that'll make people want to look at it, especially because they got it in Vegas. But I think it's cool. I look at them as like another game. But the trophy game is all right because, you actually win something. Yeah. And ironically, people don't realize it. You don't really play that many games when you play sports. You really don't play that many games where there's hardware up for grabs at the end of the game. The truth is, most of the time, you get bragging rights for however long until you play another game in 2 days. But like, you don't really play in that many games that actually have something tangible at stake. So it does mean something. However much it means, that's to the beholder what they think about it. Really, however you feel about who won, essentially.
I gotta agree. I mean, I like I say, guys, I'm a fan of the NBA Cup. I know it may not be the most popular opinion. I think it's fun, man. Like I said, the grouping stage, I don't really care too much for. But once you get into the games where it's single elimination, I was tuned in all last year. I had a good time. Again, I think it gives games in this part of the season a little bit of meaning. And like I said, hey, it's never a bad thing if the Lakers repeat. If they lose, I'm gonna say same thing everybody else says. It doesn't matter. But let the Lakers lose and they're gonna be talking bad about us regardless. So it is what it is. It comes with the territory when you one of the best. So I get it.
It is what it is.
Right. It is what it is. Gentlemen, to round out the show, man, the Lakers got 3 games this week. We have tomorrow tomorrow the Grizzlies come visit us at home. Then we go on the road for 2 short games. We got the Spurs and then the Pelicans after that. To be honest, I look at these games. I see 3-0.
I need
3-0. Ja's not playing for the Grizzlies.
Right.
I ain't scared of Wemby yet. And the Pelicans, they might ask us to suit up. So AD's back from the eye injury. Seems like the plantar fasciitis he's just gonna play through, or it's not really bothering him. We don't really know. AD, up and down. He's always gonna be on the injury report, but he's gonna show up when it's time to play, guys.
Can we add an amendment real quick, Quan, for the show?
Yeah.
Unless something is physically broken or cut off of AD's body, we're just not gonna talk about injuries. We're not gonna talk about these nicks and bruises. The man will have his eye gouged by some popcorn and the kernel is stuck in the back of the eyelid only because it's Anthony Davis. He is the master of freak injuries and nicks and bruises in the history of the NBA. And I'm numb to it. This is not against AD, right? This is not a knock on him. It's just you won't see a reaction out of me no more when he falls to the ground. When he's down for 12 seconds and misses the play and walks back and stuff, be like, all right, whatever. It's the equivalent now of the LeBron James sprained ankle.
He
Okay?
like
At this
he
point,
like if y'all remember, he like Eugene from Hey Arnold, the
yep,
kid who
Yeah.
the
just
Jinx,
did
the
not
Right.
Jinx.
Yeah.
get out of
Always
his
jacked
own
up,
way.
man.
He's just every time it's always some goofy shit that happened to Eugene, and that's AD.
See? But Eugene
agree.
makes it out every episode. Figures it out.
But he
He's
make
alive.
it out,
So,
and he mean well. So
He
you
do.
should
Hey,
fuck with Eugene.
and AD, hey, we got to give credit where credit's due. He's battled through injuries, played through injury. He's played himself back to health. He's shown up when we needed him most. Sure, he'll miss a game here and there, but he's not Joel Embiid. He's not Zion Williamson. He's not these other guys. He's not Kawhi Leonard. These other players who are much more worthy of the name street clothes. I don't think Anthony Davis deserves that. I don't think he earned it. I think he has been, like I said, he's been a consistent player for us. So, hey, the haters gonna hate, but it is what it is. I think Anthony Davis has done a fantastic job of showing up when we need him most.
Joel Embiid, first game back, 12-5.
Come on, man. AD would never.
Do you know what the streets would be saying about Anthony Marshawn Davis Jr. if at any point, I don't care if he came back from a plane crash, if he dropped 12-5, they would be calling him washed and out of his. Remember, they were saying Anthony Davis is out of his prime.
Yeah.
He's done with the prime is over. He's on
Yeah.
the back end now.
It was nasty conversation.
Look what happens when you just start putting offensive strategy around your best player right now. So, hey, I'm over it. But yeah, Joel Embiid, the foul merchant who is back to doing his foul merchant shit. The guy at 6'3", apparently knocked him to the ground on an inbounds play. Well, I'm over it, man. This is your MVP, NBA. This is who y'all gave it to. Face of the league, right? I know Philly fans are sick. That General Hospital they got of a roster too.
Gosh. Yeah, I gotta agree. I think Anthony Davis gets unfair rap, but like I said, gentlemen, so we got these 3 games this week.
Oh yeah,
no, you good. Let me get y'all predictions to wrap the show out. Do we dare say we go 3-0 against the Grizzlies, Spurs, and the Pelicans?
3-0 locked in.
3-0 locking in.
Spurs is not good. Pelicans not healthy, and Memphis is going to be a battle, but we should be able to beat them. We got Brian.
This is crazy because I'll be honest. You think a year ago we're probably looking at these games like it could go either way,
right?
But we feel a little confident, which is good. That's a telltale sign of the season.
Hey, 9-4. If they can get to 9-4, that's a good start. That's 5 games over 900 or 500.
Right now we're only 2.5 games out of first, so especially in the West, you got to beat these teams in the West. These are 3 Western Conference teams that I think we need to beat on. We got to beat on our own conference because these guys are going to be good. So, Rick, let me get your forecast for this week. What do you think the Lakers are going?
3-0. I was just trying to figure out what disrespect AD will do to Wemby in their matchup, but I won't jinx it. I've talked a lot of cash these last couple of weeks about Wemby, so let me not add too much with the game right around the corner. But let that boy not have a great game. Oh, this next pod gonna be something. This next pod gonna be Wemby. You officially in the bullseye, my boy. You're in the scope. Okay, I'm on that ass. All right. I guess pause, but I'm on that ass.
There you go.
Good luck.
Hey, well, there we go. We got three of us, all 3 of us here saying that we're gonna go 3-0 this stretch. So hey, next week we'll see if we were right, wrong, and we'll eat crow if we have to. But that'll do it for us here on the Late Night Lake Show podcast. I appreciate y'all for listening to us, taking the time. You can find us wherever you find your great media. We're on all the sites. You know what I'm saying? You can find us everywhere. And again, wherever you can find your good Lakers content, we'll be continuing to cover the season, both the Lakers and around the NBA in general. But again, Lakers at 6-4. Hopefully next time you hear us, we are 9-4. So in the meantime, you guys all enjoy your evening. For Rick, for Jody, for Kwam, we out, y'all. See you at the next one.
Peace.